Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about whatever it is we want to talk about. And today's topic is the art of networking. Yes, I said it, the art of networking. Some people may be a little afraid of that in terms of getting out there, but my very special guest, Mr. Jermey Robinson, the founder and creator of the It Factor podcast, as well as the author of The Art of Networking, is going to talk to us all about it. But before I bring him on, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? We are live on Facebook, live on YouTube, as well as on my LinkedIn page. And so it's interactive. We fully expect to hear from you. And this is an opportunity for us to engage with one another. So please like, please tag, let your friends, your family members know they need to be on here. I see some of my family on here. Let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from by putting your city and state so we can give you a shout out. I see you, cousin Nora. Happy Monday. Thank you for being here. We got Miss Brittany on with us. Thank you for being here, Brittany. And Miss Donna, my high school classmate down in Miami. Thank you for being here, Donna. I appreciate you so much. So, the art of networking, we're going to dive in just a moment and get this conversation going. So, y'all, it has been a pollen-filled day here in Tallahassee. I don't know how it is across the rest of the country, but boy, I'm telling you, the pollen is thick. So y'all be careful out there. Get your allergy medicine. Make sure you taking your honey and getting you plenty of rest, because this allergy season is a beast. It's brutal. All right, so I am going to go ahead and share some of Mr. Jeremy's bio. And by the way, I actually met Jeremy on Instagram. We actually have a mutual acquaintance, Mr. Michael Finkley of the Michael Finkley Show. Michael Finkley used to be on GWN. And so Jeremy reached out. I've been following him, with his podcast and his post on IG. And so he reached out. I was a little delayed in getting back to him, but he didn't give up on me, so I'm grateful. So we got him on here tonight. So at any rate, thank you for hanging in there with me, Jeremy. I appreciate it. So Jermey Robinson is a computer scientist graduate from Clark Atlanta University, HBCU Love. He created the It Factor to highlight the African Americans in the tech and business and profession fields of their choice. He is also the author of The Art of Networking and IT Factor podcast. And the It Factor podcast is a movement that he branded that he intends to use to change the narrative of our people meaning Black people. And so he is proud of the It Factor podcast. He also, I will share, is from Fort Valley State. He's a member of Phi Beta Sigma, and he also is in the ATL area. So I am super excited and delighted to have him with us. So y'all help me welcome Mr. Jermey Robinson.
Hey,
Yeah.
how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Thank you so much for having me.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you for being.
Amazing intro. Amazing intro.
Oh, listen to you. My pleasure. I'm glad to
Mhm.
finally have you.
Indeed.
So, I see a few more folks that have joined us. Ozzy in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Thank you for being here, Mr. Daniel. He will actually be on with us next Monday. And
Indeed.
Miss Dorothy Potter down in Miami as well. Thank you for being here. Miss Brittany says, welcome to you, Jeremy. So, Jeremy, I
Mhm.
shared a little bit about you, but let us know, who is Jeremy Robinson in your own words? Who are you? Not what you do, but who
Mhm.
are you?
I would say that I am a God-fearing person that believe in doing what I say I'm going to do. I believe in keeping the main thing the main thing. Back in my, I would say, even though I'm 29 and a little bit of teenage years of me playing high school football, had a coach that said that keep the main thing the main thing. And a lot of times, a lot of people may take that, but I think the biggest thing is just do what you say you're going to do, believe in what you're going to do. And I always try to go after my dreams. So I would say that's basically who I am. Also a family man, being with my wife now a year and a half, and we've been doing good. And I just want to just keep doing those great things. So,
Nice. Nice. Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that.
mhm.
So, tonight we're talking about the art of networking. But before we jump into that too, I'd like you to share a little bit about how you started your podcast.
Yes. So, I was in college at Clark and, Clark Atlanta University, and we're going to school, and I'm getting through classes, and I noticed like I was struggling in class, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, I thought this is going to be a little easier. Like, what's going on? Because I was a good student in high school. So I went on YouTube and tried to look for people that looked like me that coded and developed and different things of that nature. Never looked for it, found anyone. And I remember I prayed and was like, hey, God, you get me through these class. I'm going to do something to give back. I don't know what it is, So you get through the class, literally got through the class, got through college, graduated, and still didn't do that thing. Still didn't. And
Mm,
it kept coming back, kept coming back until me and one of my friends was having a conversation. He's a videographer. And we were
mhm,
sitting there. He's like, hey, you should look into podcasting, man, TV show or something, man, because you always meeting people. You're
mm.
always talking to people. And I
Okay.
ended up branching out that way and starting the It Factor. And to see where it's at now, I can't even believe it. I just stay consistent on doing it. And I like doing it. It makes me happy. Yeah.
Nice. And you started the It Factor back in 2019, right?
Yep.
Okay.
2019.
All right. And tell us a little bit about where we can find it and, what days you broadcast.
Yes. So the It Factor podcast can be found on YouTube. It's the It Factor podcast. You can search it out on there. Also, very heavy presence on Instagram, TikTok, and also X. No, it's not Twitter anymore, and Facebook. And all of it is at the It Factor podcast. Or you can find me at Rob Jeremy on Instagram. So either or of those, definitely ways to get in touch with me.
Gotcha. So, in terms of what days you broadcast, what days do you put your episodes out?
Mhm. So I put out episodes on Sundays, like every Sunday from August. No, from October until August
Mhm.
every year, and then I take a little break in between there to get some things in order and
Gotcha.
rest. And then I would say also on Fridays I put out like a message or something to let me, if I interviewed someone, I might put out a video. Or now I'm doing reaching out methods to like I would say celebrities and people like that of influence that I would love to have on the show someday. So those are some of the things you can look forward to, like when tuning into a
Gotcha.
podcast.
Okay. Nice. So, let's jump into this art of networking. Like,
Mhm.
what prompted you to write this book?
Yes, so I'm actually a two-time author. I wrote a book back in college,
Okay.
and it's called Black Man. And I was talking about my upbringing and different things in Fort Valley, Georgia, and being in a single parent home, and how going to college, I never thought I would do it without the sport of football or different things like that. And to see
Mhm.
where I was at that time, kind of wrote about that. So once I got out of college and I started the podcast and was working at different things like that. I was
Mhm.
like, you know what? I think I should write another book. I think it's time now. It's like I get a feeling every time, like, I think I should do it. And I was meeting some amazing people Like it started off with people that I went to school with, and then it
Mhm.
started transitioning to people I never thought I'd ever talk to. And I was
Mhm.
like, wait a minute. And people was like DMing me or texting me or me reaching out to my family. I was like, oh, this serious. Wait a minute. Like I got something here. And I was like, yeah, the podcast is growing, but I think I need to tell people how I do it, because a lot of people kept asking, like, how did you get in touch with this famous person? Or how did you get in touch with this person? Or how did you? I'm like, hey, this is the steps to how I do it, and people think it's like magic or something, but it's really not. So
Well, I don't know. Let's poll the audience.
mhm,
I see a few folks have joined us. Miss Tracy Gole, who's here in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here, Tracy. And my mom down in Miami. Thank you for being here, Mom. So, what are y'all's thoughts about networking? Is it easy or difficult? And I guess that would depend on whether you're an extrovert or introvert, maybe,
mhm,
or how comfortable you are with just meeting people. So let us know in the comments. Networking easy or difficult? Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. I think networking has definitely changed
mhm,
um post COVID. um and even pre-COVID a little bit.
mhm.
I saw some of the onset of people no longer doing like um paper business cards, now digital business cards and QR codes and things of that nature. Now, sometimes you don't even have to leave your home to meet people.
Right,
Case in point, look at how I met you,
right.
right?
So yeah.
All right, so we got a few folks chiming in. Sonya
Mhm.
B, thank you for being here. She said easy. Of course, she would say that. She is very much so an extrovert, I
Yeah.
believe. So she doesn't really know any strangers too tough. But she's an intimacy coach and certified sexologist. So she said easy, easy peasy. Ozzy, depending on the environment and what you
Right.
are working on. Okay. He said easy. All right. Thank you, Ozzy. And then Donna, she said difficult and sometimes awkward. Okay.
Mhm,
So Donna, I think you are not alone
mhm.
with the difficult and sometimes awkward. And so let me ask you this, Jeremy. Had you had similar thoughts or feelings about networking prior to starting the podcast?
Yeah, it was more of like being scared of like, hey, like rejection, and also like trying to see like not just your family and friends are gonna be able to support it and also be on the podcast. You're gonna run out of people or something gonna happen and you're gonna be like, I want to get other people in. That's
Right.
kind of what happened with me bringing on IT people and people in business. I
Hmm.
noticed I was sitting down having a conversation with my mom. We always go with stuff joking, and I can't believe you interviewed this person. And we were sitting there watching football. My mom, we was watching the first black female referee. My mom was like, "Hey, you should bring her on the show." I can't get that lady. And a year later, I interviewed her. And those type of things are the things that I would say I was pushed to do, especially growing up. So I would say in doing that, I have went through everything that someone said. It's been awkward moments, but it always come around for my good. Like I always get someone to say something back, like, "Hey, you're a very persistent person." Or, "Hey, man, you all right with me?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, man." Like I think that's how it works. And I write about that a lot in the book. Like there's a lot of times that you get turned down or someone may, hey, this ain't, I don't know what this for me. And I learned to say, don't let that stop you. So I
Yeah.
say the biggest thing is I don't let that stop me.
Nice. All right. We got a few folks that have, well, Miss Jeanette just joined us down in Miami Gardens. Thank you for being here. So, Brittany said it's not hard. The only problem is having people think that you are trying to scam them out of something. Now, Brittany, I would say that's really more their problem, not yours.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I think if you just are your authentic self,
Mhm.
that's and I get it, because sometimes people can be like, well, why is she speaking to me, or why are they waving
Mhm.
at me or being friendly? What do they want from me? And don't allow that to hinder you or brighten your shine,
Right.
again, because that's really their hang up.
Mhm.
And then Tracy, she said difficult for this introvert. Introvert. Okay. She said, when I am somewhere with a lot of people, I break it down by approaching one person, starting a conversation while scoping out my next target. I like that strategy, Tracy. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about some of your strategies from the book.
Mhm. Yeah, so one of my biggest strategies when I'm going out there, like I would say to bring someone on the show, I always reach out, hey, how you doing? I reach out, say something about the show. But to get over that awkward stage, I kind of show you what I already done. I like,
Mhm,
hey, this is some of the people I brought on. And every time someone like, you interview, okay, can I be a part of it? And that turns it around. Now at first it wasn't like that. Like without the content, it was like more people like, hey, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? How long are you going to be doing it? I don't want
mhm,
to be a part of something that's going to be here today, gone tomorrow. So I think the strategy that I learned is to make a lot of content, but make it so memorable that it's
mhm,
timeless. And I feel like I have done that. In the book, I speak about how like sending out a simple, "Hey, how you doing?" Especially with social media now, when you post people and show people, no matter what profession they're in, when they see that, they're like, "Wait a minute, he posting the OBGYN, the basketball player, and a police officer. Wait, I should tap in with them." So I use those type of strategies to make sure that people know I support everyone. So definitely.
So let me ask you, what if you're not on social media? What would
Mhm.
be your recommendation?
My recommendation is to get on social media, but no, the biggest thing I feel like everybody watch YouTube or they try to
Everybody
find
watch
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
So in having that approach, I feel like that's why a lot of people find me, or having older family members. I do ask them like, hey, what's the best way? Are let me get you on. Let me see if you want to be on Facebook. So definitely having those type of people that reach out to me, I would say that is the best way to kind of connect with them.
Is YouTube?
YouTube, Facebook, anything a little back, we can figure it out. But also, I show people like I have different. I have had different events where I've
Mhm.
been able to show people, especially with the book coming out. I have been able to show people, they're like, I'm gonna get a YouTube just so I can watch you. Or I'm gonna get Instagram so I can find your episodes, and I help them find it. So try to
Mm,
turn people on to this stuff.
I
Definitely.
got you. I got you. I got you. All right. So in terms of, so what about when you're out like at an event
Mhm,
and maybe you're attending an event in terms of just as a spectator or attendee, or maybe you're set up at an event as a vendor.
mhm.
Is there some awkwardness as it relates to that?
It is awkwardness sometimes because what you're trying to approach, like who you're trying to approach.
Mhm,
Um, Sometimes I think that at first it's like, oh, let me figure out, let me feel the room. But after a while, I'm that type of person to where I'll start handing out my business card and talking to you and tell you some things or connect with you.
mhm,
And I think like that first couple seconds, I'm like awkward, like, oh man, what's gonna happen? Then after a while, I'll just go ahead and be myself. Like, let me go and see what, because I think I get them, every person gets in their own way. It's
mhm.
not really. I feel like with me and a lot of my friends, I feel like we get in our own way. So I think to step out like that, I do that at events. I find myself doing it. Especially, I was just at an event the other week at Clark and
Mhm.
talking to some kids. And that first couple seconds, I was nervous. Then I thought about it like these kids look up to me, man. Like I got to help them out, and see what I can do. I can't just be nervous and it went away like that. Sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it is.
Well, I think you said a few things that I think are important, which are your mindset. You didn't say mindset, but it's really your perspective and what you're thinking about,
Mhm,
the experience or the encounter. Even, with Donna's comment about being you said we get in our own way. Yeah, we get in our own way because we have these thoughts about, oh, they might not like me. Oh, they might reject me. Oh, they might laugh at me. Oh, they might not accept me.
mhm.
No, don't think like that. Don't think like that. Yes. Yes, Donna said, yes, we do stop ourselves. That's right, Donna. So we got to push through and not
Yeah.
stop ourselves, but you know, get out there. Get
Yeah,
out.
I always say, what's the worst thing? The worst thing can happen if you don't get out there. That's the worst thing that can happen. If
Mm,
you don't go and do it, then you going all the things you thought was gonna happen, they are happening now because you ain't do nothing. So I
right.
think when I do that, it helps me to be a better person, even when I'm interviewing. So.
Indeed. All right, we got Enigma Sep who has joined us. He said YouTube. No, LOL. Enigma has a radio show that he does
Mhm.
here in Tallahassee as well. So thank you for joining us. All right. So what about visualization?
Mhm.
And I mentioned that because, just as we are talking about how we have these thoughts about engaging with people or networking with someone and thinking, oh, it's not going to go good, or oh, it's kind of awkward, or oh, I don't know what to say. What about thinking about before you go out, but thinking about it going positive? You
Mhm.
will have some things to say, and you're going to meet some people that maybe you can collaborate later on, or maybe you gain a new um acquaintance, or make
Mhm.
a new friend, or get a new viewer, or whatever the case may be. What's your thoughts about that?
That's the biggest thing, I say that keeping it positive and like I said before, keeping the main thing. The main thing is, just coming in there with a positive mindset, and most of the times when you're positive, everything goes the way you want it to go.
Mhm.
And I feel like I write out some things. I journal out some scripture, and I sit there and talk to my wife about some things. We go over some things before I'm going out, or even doing interviews or doing podcasts. And like, I always make sure I try to go over things with her before. Like, hey, what you think about this?
Uh,
Hey, how would you take this? And, get some of her group of friends or my friends together. Hey, what you think of how does it look? And doing those things, I'm over prepared. So once I get there, it's beautiful. Like, it looked like everybody like, hey, it's like poetry in motion when you do podcasts. And I'm like, thank you. I have over prepared, and I feel like I'm gonna over deliver because that's what people deserve. Definitely they do deserve
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So again, you share some other things,
Mhm.
the importance of maybe writing something out.
Mhm.
And again, thinking about it
Mhm.
from a positive perspective. You know, it might seem like, it's no big deal, or you a little scripted, but I
Mhm.
think it helps to build confidence,
Yeah.
when you go over it in advance, and, just kind of run through it, and again, put those positive thoughts, that positive energy to it.
Mhm.
And then, hopefully watch it manifest in that way. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. And so do you create a plan of sorts,
Mhm.
in terms of how you want to tackle things when get out there at a networking
Mhm.
event?
So I will say, event wise, I do plan out some things of how, like, strategy wise, or like, let it be, oh, okay, I'm going to go speak at a school. That'll be a little different. The kids are going to be very tuned in to me. So before that, I try to get there a little earlier. Hey, check this out. Hey, pass out some cards. Hey, you can get in touch with me for this, or these are the different things I did, so that once I'm speaking, they're tuned in because they're like, oh, I already know Jeremy. Okay, I
Mhm.
know a little bit about him. Another thing I would say that I do, especially when it comes to I'm trying to recruit someone or get different viewers on, I just speak, hey, do you like podcasting? Well, I don't only do it on YouTube. I just thought about that. I do Apple, do radio podcasts, and have it on those platforms so that you can listen to it. So a lot of people, they may not look at YouTube or different things like that. So I just thought about that. So having those things in order when I get there kind of make me, like I was saying, be prepared for everything. So,
Gotcha. Nice, 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 nice. Okay. Um, let's see. Mr. Henderson just joined us. Good evening. Thank you for being here. He is here in Tallahassee. Appreciate you, Oba. So, you're right. So passing out cards, passing out literature in advance of, in this case, you talking about, speaking, public
mhm,
speaking. Um, that's a, good, so that they can, it'll drum up some interest, I believe. Sonya said that I feel it helps me to get over myself, jump right in, tap into the flow of the energy, and feel my way through the conversation from an authentic space.
mhm.
Yes, love that. Yeah. Have you tried that before, Jeremy?
Definitely always make sure that I do those things, tap into the energy, and then just sit there and say, you know what, we're gonna be positive today. And I'm a genuine person right off. So I try to always go in with, we're gonna figure this out. Even when it's a boardroom, like me working in tech, you may walk into a meeting, and that has also prepared me for different things I walk into. Because people ain't already gonna look like you. Then you sitting in there, you're like, wait, what's going on? So doing those things have opened me up to being the person I am today. So I would say, yeah, I was nervous. Now that's more nervous than doing podcasting any day. Because anything, that thing can go left, it can go right. But the biggest thing, if I go in there positive, I'm gonna be good. So I
Yes,
feel like that with everything that I do.
indeed, 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 indeed. All right. And then I think too, also what we're talking about is a belief in yourself, right?
Yes, definitely.
How much does self-confidence and belief in yourself play in your ability to get out there and network?
So you got to believe in it before anybody else believe in it. Like I told you, firm believer in God, grew up that way. And I would say I pray about everything and I write it out. And I say, you know what, we gonna interview Chris Paul, and it happened. And I look at it from a perspective of it's not just people that I'm interviewing, or it's not just that famous person. It's for people back home to see, oh, Jeremy not famous, but he able to do some things that famous people always see them doing it first. So in doing those things, I would say you gotta have that belief in yourself and that swagger to say, you know what, I'm gonna do these things. And I do a lot of documentation. Like my friends, family would tell you that, wow, he always talks about this. But I have a firm group of people that I kind of talk. I don't talk to everybody about it. A firm group of people like, hey, I'm in conversation with this person. I talked to my wife, like, hey, this is happening with this WNBA player. We're gonna do this, and this is what's happening. Oh, okay. What's your plan? Oh, yeah, this is gonna happen. And it takes time. In the book I wrote about it, like I broke it down. I literally got in touch with Ryan Clark, great Stiller, great analyst now, and just overall great person. I literally DM'd him, got in touch with him. It took a year to do the podcast. That's consistency,
Yeah.
because I stayed in touch with him. I told him, hey, you have Merry Christmas to you and your family, and stayed, pinned those notes in there. So when it was time in May, I think I reached out in probably October, the beginning of I would say in that mid rate of the year, and we didn't do the interview until the next year, May.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
those type of things that you just have to stay in touch with people and be genuine, be yourself in it. So I make sure I always be myself and bring that genuine to anybody. Just like, yes, that's a big name person, but once I'm interviewing, I'm like, man, this dude put his pants on just like me. He's a regular
That's
person.
it.
You
That
know,
is it. That is
you just
it.
gotta believe in
Uh,
it, though. You gotta believe in it.
so I hope you all are feeling and sensing this because Jeremy is 29, okay? 29 years old and has started his own podcast, has written a book, and is just, doing it. And that whole consistency being key, believing in yourself, being positive, like
Mhm.
all things that we talk about from time to time. But, I think we can't reiterate it enough. But to see a young person like you that has decided to be in this space and, just going for it. Like, you're not a journalist. You enjoy having conversations with people, hearing their stories, wanting to share their stories
Mhm.
with others, much like myself. And so, I definitely feel that connection with you in that way. So again, I'm no journalist, if you will. I mean, although people say, "Yes, you are," you know,
Uh-huh.
because you get these stories out, but, you gotta, just get out there and do it. Like, just do it. I don't
Mhm. It's
I don't
like
know
Nike.
how else to say it. Yes, like Nike. You just gotta do it.
Mhm.
Um we got Mr. Joseph
Mhm.
Ward on with us. He said, "Hey, hey, just subscribe to the
Thank you.
Internet YouTube channel. Appreciate that. And you got to check him out,
Thank you so much.
Jeremy. Joseph has On the Shoulders of Giants,
Mhm.
which oh, he talks a lot about Black history and
Uh-huh.
different issues in the Black community. So you definitely want to check him out as well.
Definitely. Definitely, man.
Yes. So Laura said, yes, consistency is definitely key.
Mhm.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And
Yeah.
I wrote
It's,
about also, I would say that I realized that the things wasn't just happening for the podcast. It started being my marriage, friendship,
mm,
all the things started to be a trickle down effect. And once I was positive about, oh, I got this, oh, we did this, it started being not about me. It
Uh-huh.
started being about the bigger picture of, oh, I'm actually helping people. Like,
Yeah.
this is actually helping my family and friends. They actually tuning into this thing and they
Mhm.
like, wow. And even in my marriage, it made me a better communicator. Like, as
Oh,
simple as, hey, we could communicate, talk about feelings, because
oh,
you get in some podcast situations, you're talking about stuff, and people get deep with you. They open up, and you like, wait, somebody crying on my podcast? Wait, you know what? And I have learned that like it's a gift. It was given to me. At first, it's like I started it, yeah, I did it, and more is like, no, this was given to me. I really passed it up a good little bit, so definitely.
nice. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly as well in terms of the gift and holding space for people in that way. I think it's very special. But you said some things in terms of what you're doing
Mhm,
is something that other people are benefited from. And so in terms of this networking piece, like
mhm,
I think if we kind of go into it with the mindset of, building your tribe, if you will, right?
mhm,
And the connection that can take place once you expand your tribe, because maybe there's something that you can kind of maybe serve as a connector, right?
mhm,
Because you see something, some gifts and talents that person A has that person B could benefit from,
yeah,
and not in a type of using or trying to get over on type of way, but just you know one of my mantras is that we all have gifts and talents that the world is waiting on, and we should not be sitting on them, but we need to be sharing them. So
yeah.
we all need what each other has.
Mhm,
Feel me? Like we all have gifts that we need for various sundry reasons and purposes. And so, part of that networking is getting out there so that
mhm,
your gift can be used. Like
right.
which is the ultimate to me. Like I feel like
Mhm,
we are created by the creator to be creative, which
good.
is your gifts and your talents. Can I get
Mhm.
an amen?
Amen, man. I'm giving you one right here. Amen, man. Because you made me think about it. I have connected a lot of people that I have interviewed with, and a lot of times someone will reach back out. Just like we talked about Michael Finkley, man. We
Mm,
stay in touch with each other. And the biggest thing is I noticed that the guy that helped, put the cover to my book, I have gave him numerous of people. And I'm like, hey, I ain't never said, hey man, yeah, send me this or refer me to. I said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna help you get work, man. I know you got all the work in the world, but I'm gonna help you. And every
yeah,
time I'm like, oh, you need an artist? Oh, here you go. It's the guy. He's a good guy. He's very persistent. He's gonna hit you right back. As soon as you message him, he's gonna get in touch with you. And it's a lot of stories like that I find myself when I was writing, I would write so much, I was like, this is gonna be a 400-page book. I can't do that. I gotta cut it back some. And I said the next one I'll add, so
yes.
definitely.
And ultimately, that's what we should be doing.
Hmm.
Yes. All right. Maya Butler. Hey, girl. She's here in Tallahassee. She said, Amen. I love it. Sonya B said, Jeremy is killing it. Kudos to you for learning, growing, and
Hmm.
inspiring our community. Yes. Agreed. 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 And Donna said, Amen. Thank you, Donna. So we are a little more than halfway through our conversation. For those of you who may be just tuning in, I'm here with Jeremy Robinson. We are talking about the art of networking. He is the creator of the It Factor podcast, as well as the author of The Art of Networking. So I got to do my little station ID. I do have a sponsor for tonight's show, so y'all just listen up real quick. We have the Healing Mother Wounds event coming up. Are you carrying the weight of unresolved maternal child relationships impacting your life well into adulthood? Well, at Healing Mother Wounds, they understand. Join founders Adrian Mills and Dr. Jiva St. Fort at the inaugural brunch workshop, which will be on Saturday, March 23rd, coming up from 11 to 2 at 812 South Macomb Street here in Tallahassee, Florida, which is the old Nefertari's restaurant. Expert speakers from medical and mental health fields will guide discussions on how these wounds affect various aspects of our lives. So get your tickets on Eventbrite, search Healing Mother Wounds, and there's a promo code for students. So you want to check that out. All right. So back to our conversation, the art of networking. Jeremy, I'm telling you, you're on to something. We are on to something because with again networking, I see it as an extension of us sharing our gifts and talents with the world, right?
Mhm. Definitely,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, because networking has opened me up to so many things. Like I have been able to get in touch with people that, like I said, I'm always said, I never thought I'd be talking to. I'm like, you called me. Wait, you want to set this? Okay, cool. Even with, and it ain't just the podcast. Like I said, like friendships, people I done reached out to, jobs. Like, hey, hey, do you know this person? Or hey, I seen your episode. Can you help me get in touch with this person? And I said, that's God's work. Like a young lady said the other day, I was doing the editing. I said, she picked it. I said, yeah, that's what we doing. That's literally what it is, and I think that it's a way to show people that you can do it too, and whatever that is for you. Like if you network with somebody and they show you a gift, like I said, my boy's a videographer. He's a videographer for ESPN now. In the
Wow,
interview, I'm pretty sure he showed reels. What reels was he showing? My reels for my podcast.
look at
Those
there.
are fruits of our labor that we put into this work. So
Right.
I'm not pinning on my back like, hey, it's not just me. Same with my business admin, different things I have showed her, she showed me. My wife, different friends, like, hey man, or they been on the podcast. Hey, this person reached out to me because I'm like, yeah, we connected. Here you go. That's what it's all for. I feel like if did that more, we would be so much further when it comes to everything in the world. So
Absolutely.
networking is very pivotal. Very pivotal.
Well, indeed. All right, we got Mr. Malcolm Peterson on agreeing. He said, yes, indeed. Thank you for being here. So I'm excited. I'm
Mhm.
just this conversation. And I'm thinking about it even beyond, like you said, as we are talking, just
Mhm.
the benefits, like multiple benefits as it relates to it. So on this Mindset Monday, everything starts with mindset.
Mhm.
I'm encouraging us to get out of our heads about networking.
Right.
Get out of our heads. And when I say out of our heads, I mean stop thinking negative about it. Stop thinking about
Mhm.
what you can't do and you know how it's not going to be good and negativity,
Right.
right? Think about this is your way of representing you, representing your
Mhm.
family, representing your gifts, your talents, representing who you are and your purpose,
Right.
right? And that's very important.
Mhm.
Very, very important.
Definitely.
So, any other things from your book that you want to share in terms of the art of networking? I know we talked about writing things down, creating a plan,
Mhm.
believing it, getting out there in terms of, going to events or activities or utilizing social media,
Right.
through direct message and that sort of thing. Any other tips or pointers that you want to give as it relates to the art of networking?
I would say don't be afraid to follow up. Like I know I follow up, like I spoke about getting in touch with people. Become these people. Like you ain't their friend, you can be genuine with it, but just hey, I'm interested in getting to know more about you and learn more about, especially with podcasts, it make it a lot of easier because you're like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. But I think they see like, hold on, we already did the episode. He stay in touch with me. Oh man, he genuine. That dude really, we family. So I tell everybody after we do a show, I say, hey, we family, part of the network.
Okay.
And a lot of people probably at first wasn't seeing what that was, but now they hit me up like, "Hey, yeah, we got to do another episode, man. I like what you're doing. I'm glad I was able to be a part of that." I would say those are some of the things. I would also say something I tap back into is that even when you're writing things down, you got that plan of those things that you want to do. If
Mhm,
I can do it, I definitely would say you can do it. You
mhm,
know, I would say that I literally remember going to my first job and it was NASA and I doing freshman year, and I'm like, oh yeah, and my cousin, we sit there, and we was sitting at the barbecue. He was like, hey, yeah, what you doing this summer? I'm like, I'm going back to Fort Valley, man. He like, no, 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 Jeremy going to NASA. And I'm like, whoa, we ain't talked about this or nothing. A week later, we doing our resume. He's sending it to his line brother, like, yeah, man, I already had been talking and planning these things out. I just want to make sure everything was together before I told you. But hey, I go ahead and told you. And I said that was my second portion of networking. Also staying in my guidance counselor office. I got a letter of intent from Tuskegee for football, but I stepped away my senior year. So once that was gone, I was like, what I'm gonna do, man? No single parent home. I'm on a baby. I'm trying to go to school. Like, what's gonna go on? And my guidance counselor, I was in that lady's office every day, and we became family. Like, we were like, she was like, I'm gonna get you to school, and happened to be Clark was her alma mater, and she was like, I'm gonna write you a letter. I got scholarships because of her, and because of my persistence. And I did that same thing when I got on Clark campus. The reason why I can go back and speak now, and talk to people, because I think that you have to learn that you got to be your biggest advocate. Nobody's else going to do it for you. Yes. And I would say that's all my book is saying. That's why I say one day it'll be a bestseller, because it's telling the truth. I'm not telling you these are things that I have done. I have failed at some things, but if you see people that's failing at stuff, those are people that you should be watching, because those people going to start succeeding, and you want to be a part of that success, man. So I would say you with someone, you seeing them failing and they still going at it, you got to say, hey, wait a minute, let me watch Jeremy. Let me see. Oh, okay, cool. And I think that's the biggest thing I would say.
That I love that too. So both of those comments, don't be afraid to follow up. I think follow up definitely sets people apart oftentimes, because it shows that you are leaning in, that you're interested, that you are wanting to, be engaged. So definitely follow up, and then be your biggest advocate, which essentially is what we have been saying pretty much this whole live is, you have got to, put yourself out there and fight for who you are, what you believe in.
Indeed.
Yes. All right. We got Miss Marlene Mance on the live. She said, I've been encouraging my daughter, a college freshman, to be intentional about networking. The community on a college campus is invaluable. Amen. Amen. So whether that is her dorm, or with her roommates or people on her floor, uh folks she sees in the caf, or in class, within the organizations, it is, the university is the universe, and it's just a smaller version of what the world will be like. So yes, yes, yes. Please continue to encourage her in that vein, because there's great opportunity on the college campus, and that's probably gonna be the last time, being on college campus, she's gonna see, this many young people all together working towards doing something to better their lives. So.
Indeed, tell her to tap into the podcast. I definitely got some amazing people that we have discussed our college stories and the different things that we have been through our matriculation. And the biggest thing was, a lot of things started from just a conversation. Same when we becoming a Phi Beta Sigma. I have uncles that are Sigmas. I have brother-in-law that was Sigmas. But the biggest thing was, they said, hey, you got to be you before you. Don't make the letters, don't let the letters make you. You make the letters.
Yeah.
And in doing those things, we learn about the culture for service, and you go through the different things, and you say, this is why I chose, not just because of them, but seeing what they done on campus and seeing the different things we was able to impact once I was in the fraternity, and even do now. I'm like, hey, it just made me a better person, definitely.
Yeah, well, keep, again, Marlene, keep encouraging her, because again, there's a lot of opportunity on campus, Greek life, but also within, her major, I'm sure, and just other service organizations across campus.
Scholarships, I would say that I done a lot. I could go on a college tangent. You got to network and be with people because you get into that department, you'll be the one to get a scholarship. You'll be the one getting different things because you're talking to the people. You know,
Hello.
you do a job. So I would say do that and just step out. Don't, like I said, don't be in your way. Get out your own way.
Get
You
out
know,
your
go to
way.
class, yes, but once you get out of class, go see them people. Hey, professor, I want to talk to you real quick. Or this, you know, so those different things you have to go and do it. And depending on the university, no mean need to be a PWI, HBCU. You know, you better go lean in. You know, there's some good people at either or.
She said, "Thank you. Absolutely, yes. Lean in, lean in, lean in." Yeah, you mentioned that, but interestingly enough, that happened to me. I had graduated, thought I was going to go on to get my master's. They had just started a master program
Mhm.
here at FAM in the School of Business and Industry. Didn't get in, didn't know what I was going to do, but one of my professors, he was over the a labor relations program,
Mhm.
and so he gave me a scholarship to take some classes to get the labor relations certificate and pay for my classes to get another degree. So, yeah, but just through having those conversations, and so I didn't have to get a loan or anything. It all just worked out.
Mhm.
So I'm telling you that having having those conversations,
Mhm.
meeting with folks, opening your mouth, letting them know what your needs are, it makes a difference.
It does. It does make your experience way different. You know, it makes you more happier with like what you're going through. And I see that with a lot of young people. Even when I was at the school, they were like afraid to speak. So once I gave them my card and stuff, they was like, "Yeah, you're the first person that wanted to engage with us before." And I was like, "Look, I've been in your shoes just a couple of years ago. Like we on the same, we right here. We're on the same level, but
Right,
I'm right here. I'm a little bit. I'm just right there by you." And I
right,
was like, the biggest thing is you can see me talk about these companies I work for, but I do the work. I did the work here. So if I can do it, you can do it. So
mm,
email me. And they be so surprised when hey, hit me up on LinkedIn. Get in touch with me. I will get back with you. So
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. No, that's good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Wow. All right. So just to recap, because again, this has been a great conversation. So again, write it down. Write down what your goals are in terms of networking. Create a plan. So that's goes along with the whole write the vision, make it plain. Believe it. Believe that you can do it. Believe in yourself. Be open to talk to people and getting out there.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid to follow up. Be your biggest advocate. And the thing that we've been saying all night is to get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. Yes. Oh, really great advice. Really great advice. All right. So, where can folks get this book?
Mhm. So we everywhere. We Target, Barnes and Nobles, what is it? Amazon, and any other site. If you Google the art of networking,
Uh,
effective memoir, you will find it. Like and either reach out to me, I help you find this on my page. So it's everywhere.
it's
And
everywhere.
being able to find it. Yeah. It's on
Yeah.
every platform. I did it different this time with this book. So definitely.
All right, good deal. All right, Ozzy just chimed in. He said, "Great convo. Follow through with action and not indecision."
Indeed.
Agreed. Yes, action, and that action could be a thank you note. That action could be a follow up meeting.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I'm really big on is doing one on one sessions, and I call them coffee talks.
Mm-hmm.
So I see people in the community that I want to meet up with that I don't necessarily know. But when I have that coffee talk with them, I get to know them a little better. And so you don't know until you have the conversation. I say that
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And so, we see people and may have perceptions and thoughts about who they are, what they're all about. But again, you don't know until you have the conversations. And so, same thing goes with that networking piece,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got to get out there. All right. So I mean, we are kind of close to end of our time. Do you have anything you want to share in terms of what you have going on? Any upcoming guests on the podcast?
Upcoming guests, look, we drop every Sunday. I treat everybody the same. So I think that if you go ahead and tap in and see everything, you'll see like, oh, you know what? Let me follow this podcast. Let me see what's happening with it, and I would say that try to be the solution. That's what changing the narrative is. That's one of my biggest quotes. For me, I have it on merch all the time, and I like to ask, "What is your it factor? Why you do what you do?" And a lot of times when I ask that, we get so many amazing responses. And the
Yeah.
bigger thing is to see people being the solution. It's a lot of problems going on, a lot of craziness going on in the world. But what helps me stay centered is seeing that there's solution, like they're solution based. And I feel like people need to be more solution based and believe in what they're doing and why they're doing it. So that's what I would leave with. Be solution based. Definitely.
I love that. Be solution based. Try to be the solution. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right. Well, tell the peoples how they can connect with you.
Mhm. You can connect with me via my email that I would leave. I would say you can get with me on social media at the It Factor Podcast or at Rob Jeremy. Also, I'm just an easier person to find. If you need anything, just reach out.
Okay. There you go. There you have it. There you have it. What would you tell young people that are trying to do podcasts or write a book or listen, be a computer scientist or engineer? What would you share with them? What would you tell them? How would you encourage them?
Like Ray Lewis say, man, like I say, believe it. That's why I say believe it. I love Ray Lewis. And I would say, control what you can control. It's a lot of things going on. I have to balance a lot of things. Be a husband, engineer, podcaster, friend, family. Biggest thing is control what you control. Focus on what matters at the time it matters. That's the biggest thing young people have to understand. I'm still young myself, but I would say at the end of the day, the biggest thing I'm starting to learn and how you're matriculating to wisdom is that you're controlling it. Is what, I'm just gonna control the chaos. There's a lot of things that's gonna go around you, but if you focus on the main thing, you'll always be fine.
All right. Cool. Good deal. Well, I see a few folks chiming in. Nora said, great conversation, good conversation rather. If this has benefited you, let us know. I feel like again, I'm really impressed with Jeremy from the standpoint of being again 29 years young and a lot of the things that he has done
Mhm.
and just I'm hopeful. So I hope that other young people see this podcast or this video and are encouraged, are inspired, and you know, are wanting to uh, get out there and not be afraid to. And when I say get out there, I mean network, because that's what we're talking about, the art of network, and have the confidence to share their gifts and talents with the world. So Maya said, control the chaos. Yes, control the chaos. Indeed. Brittany said, awesome. Thank you, Brittany. Enigma, great episode. And I meant to mention Enigma Sep also has a podcast as well, which I have been on, and he does a hip hop podcast.
I
So
like that.
yeah, which is pretty cool. So you definitely have to check him out as well.
Okay.
He is here in Tallahassee. Ma said, thank you. Thank you, Ma. Appreciate you so much. So y'all, please follow and subscribe to Jeremy's podcast. Check him out on social and connect with him. Connect with him because he is a connector and wanting to, see us be our best selves and do greater works, right? Or operate in our it factor, right?
Indeed.
What is your it factor, Jeremy?
Oh man, my it factor is I love bringing people together. I like to be a servant to others. Like I think I would help a lot of other people. I have seen that love to help other people because I feel like that's our service on earth. To help other people, and I get a sense of urgency for that, and I'm always pulled towards that. No matter what the day look like, that's something I always do. So always being able to help other people and put other people in great positions, it actually helps me.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so very much. All right. Donna said, thank you. It's a great refresher to get out of our ways and share our gifts with the world. Indeed, Donna. Indeed. So I want to see more lives, Donna. You talking about your business and what you do. Donna's a pharmacist. So let us know, Donna. All right. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you, Brother Malcolm. We appreciate you being on here. All right, good people. Let's see. Wednesday show. Who do we have on Wednesday? Oh, we have Mr. Andre Shaw, who is a clinician here in Tallahassee, and the topic is you have to be a man to say what a man is. So yes, it's gonna be good. You have
Man, no.
to say what a man is. So, yes, that will be on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. And so, for those who may be new to the platform, I invite you to subscribe to Conversations with Nicole. We are here Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, focused on mental health and wellness in the Black community, wanting to encourage us to get our checkup from the neck up, be our best selves. Mostly have clinicians on, but sometimes not, but still great conversations on this Mindset Monday and Wellness Wednesday, because everything starts with mindset, and wellness is multidimensional. So, Jeremy, thank you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on your platform. Just thank you for the constant reaching out. And I don't believe I know time is our greatest asset, but the fact that it happened, it happened. So thank you. And anything you need from me, let me know.
All right, y'all heard it right here. We got him recorded too. Anything I need from him, he got
And
me.
look,
Y'all
look, I
heard.
do the same thing. I do the same thing. Like, look, you remember this? You remember that? You remember that?
Ah, I love it. I love it. All right, good people. We are going to head out. Thank you so much for your time, and we will catch y'all next time. Peace.